Michael, thank you very much. I'm going to be short because Mike has got to get home. We have curfew tonight at 11:30. You know, I'm really honored to be here tonight, and I really appreciate the Hall of Fame committee for moving my name forward. To be inducted in this class is such an honor. And with these incredible athletes, the individual athletes, Tom, Joe, Brian, and Paul on the 1958 men's soccer team, is just an incredible class. But what makes this evening even more special for me is going in with two people that I've known for a long time, in Sharon Beverly and Rich Panacucci. Sharon's office and my office were side by side for over a decade, and you know, we got along great. She was a fantastic coach. We shared ideas, and she was smart. She got out of coaching, went into athletic administration, where she's now the boss, and got her PhD along the way, and is now Dr. Beverly. So I'm very proud of Sharon. Congratulations to you, Coach. And Rich Panacucci. Rich, I've known you for 10,000 years, it seems like. You know, you are Mr. FDU. You know, he's worn so many hats. Rich has worn so many hats at Fairleigh Dickinson, and has worn them all so well. So it's, you know, I'm overjoyed at the idea of being inducted at the same evening with you, Rich. And also to be at this microphone where Coach Carnesecca is going to be speaking a little bit later on. I'm very humbled to be here and have a chance to speak on at the same podium where he's going to be in a very short time. The Alibaba Award has so much significance, and I want to congratulate you, Mrs. Lowe, for just being such a strong woman, putting up with Al for all these years, and you know, just Margot, my wife Margot, knows exactly what a coach's wife goes through. So the respect we have for you and as a coach's wife is just absolutely incredible. And Coach Carnesecca and Lou have touched, Coach Carnesecca and Al have touched so many lives over the year in such a positive way. It's just great here to be here tonight with Coach Carnesecca and receiving this award. Now, there are two very important people in my life that have been unbelievably supportive to me, and I happen to be related to both of them. The first one is my son Brad, who would have loved to have been here tonight. He works in the front office for the Charlotte Bobcats, and they just finished their preseason camp this morning. Drove back from Asheville, North Carolina, back to Charlotte. And he couldn't be here tonight, but he grew up at Fairleigh Dickinson. You know, he was a little running around. We moved here when he was 2 years of age, and was running around at practices, was happy to bring guys water and pick up towels, and then graduated becoming a ball boy, and actually came to Fairleigh Dickinson his freshman year and played for me, and then transferred down to the University of Delaware, got a double major down there. Came back to Fairleigh, started graduate school, had 1 year left of eligibility, and rather kind of interesting. We didn't know at the time when he transferred back that there was a very fine print rule in the NCAA that basically said that he couldn't play. It was his 5th year, and he only used up 1 year of eligibility. So we filed 2 different appeals, and make a long story short, he ends up just before Christmas writes a letter to the president of the NCAA, and unbeknownst to me, and about a week later, he tells me about writing this letter to the president of the NCAA. And it was right around the 3rd or 4th of January that Ann Galino came down to my practice and told me, Tom, are you aware that Brad wrote a letter to the president of the NCAA? I said, Ann, you know, I am, but I didn't know about it until long after it was mailed. And she told me, she says, well, the president of the NCAA has just made a special exception, and he's now eligible to play. So that was the 2005 season. We won a championship, got to the NCAA tournament. It was just awesome for me to have him as a player on my team. Now, the other person in my life rode over with me this evening. And on my way over, Margot said to me, he says, Tom, is this something, type of an affair where you got to introduce me as your wife? And I said, well, yeah, I would think so. So she said, please do not introduce me as your wife. So I'd like my mistress and my bed partner, Margot, to be recognized. She's the love of my life. She's my best friend in the whole wide world. She's been supportive, so supportive of me all these years, and I couldn't have found a better partner to share my life with. Now, I realize that this evening is a celebration of my career, but my career is just part of it. I've had so many very good assistant coaches that have worked their tail off for me, from Tiny all the way through to Ron Brown, and a lot of guys in between that just worked very, very hard, brought in some very, very good players. This is going to seem like a who's who of FDU basketball, from Mike Payne to Greg Foster, Marcus Gaither, to Larry Hampton, Freddie Collins, Desi Wilson, Jamie Latney, DeMar Riddick, Antoine Dasher, Elijah Allen, Rashawn Turner, Marcus Whitaker, Chad Timberlake, Gordon Klaber, Andre Harris. Now that's a team I would love to coach one more time, get all those guys together. Mike said, we won a lot of championships over the years and had a lot of success on the court. But the most rewarding day of the year for me was going to graduation. To me, that's kind of what it was all about in coaching. Marcus Whitaker is here tonight. I remember Marcus sitting in my office for hours trying to recruit him to come to Fairleigh Dickinson. And a lot of the things we talked about. And it's just a pleasure for me to see these young people come in, just a little bit immature, a little wet behind the ears, and see them grow as young men. And, get the degree, go off to the working world, and be successful. And it's just, that graduation day is probably the happiest day of my coaching life, and thank goodness it comes every year. I want to share maybe just one little anecdote with you. I think it was 1988. We're playing Purdue in the NCAA tournament, and we're playing them at Notre Dame in South Bend. So West Lafayette to South Bend is not exactly right next door, but it's about as close as you're going to get in an NCAA tournament, geographically speaking, as a home court. So the game's over with, and all these sports writers from Indiana are asking me about Purdue, about Coach Katie, and about how far do I expect them to go in the tournament, and, who do I think was their best players. It just asked me all kinds of questions. So finally, at the very end, I got up and said, guys, you've all had a better afternoon than I've had. But I've got a very pretty wife and a cold bottle of champagne back in my room. I'm going to have a better night than all of you. I'm coaching now at the City College in New York, and I've taken over a program that's really at rock bottom talent-wise. But keep your eyes on us. I've thrown my heart and soul into the program. We're going to turn that program around rather quickly, and hopefully you'll be hearing more from Tom Green sometime in the future. I want to thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you for sharing this evening with me. It's been great. Thank you so much.